This is the Transformers Generation 1 or G1 reissue of Decepticon Warrior Skywarp. This figure is from the movie Transformers the movie way back in 1986. It's a reissue of that old G1 toy with some slight modifications. And obviously the colors on this figure are not the original toy colors. They now reflect cartoon accurate colors for the character. I picked up this figure from Robo. Let's get this guy out of packaging. And here is the reissued G1 Skywarp out of the box. And boy, he turned out great. I love these cartoon accurate colors. The pastel, purple, gray, even the black plastic that they used. I never had Skywarp when I was a kid. I always wanted this guy because I think he was the one who could teleport from one part of the sky to the other. And back then it was cool, but nowadays you would think like, why does he need to fly if he can just teleport? And anyway, if memory serves me correctly, I think I had a buddy who had Skywarp, and the plastic that they used for that figure was a darker black plastic than this. This one is okay. It's a pretty good glossy, shiny black plastic, but I think it's a shade lighter, if that were possible, than the original. There's no way for me to tell because I don't have a vintage Skywarp, but that's what stuck in my memory. But I love the color on this one. The black just really pops together with this periwinkle. Oh man. Let's take a closer look at the details of this new G1 reissued Skywarp. So the figure is a redeco of Starscream and Thundercracker. Exactly the same figure, just done in different colors, obviously. Doesn't matter because there were 3 different characters on the cartoon and you had to get all 3 of them. He comes with the same null ray blasters that are spring loaded. This one is on a hair trigger. It easily pops, but it does launch fairly good distance, I think, if you wanted to. I'm just not launching it because I'm gonna lose these things. He also comes with extra missiles. This one is the longer version. I'm still not entirely sure why this is too long. I think it's for safety reasons. So yeah, back in the day, this version, the old vintage toy, it would reach up to here and it would act like, this thing would look like a rocket instead of a blaster. But then this, I don't know, for safety reasons, they did this. And on my copy of the figure, the stock or the handle of the Megatron gun barely clings on to the fists. I think there's just too much paint on the right fist. It's not gonna hold on. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with it. But I think the hands on this Skywarp is just too much purple paint. So that's a shame. In the cartoon, there was really no detail on his Poltron. So I think this is very, very accurate to how he looked like on the show. Same articulation as Skywarp and Thundercracker. Nothing changed. Albeit on this one, the wings appear to be much tighter than Thundercracker. Thundercracker's on my copy, they're just so loose, the wings, they just pop off so easily. I love everything, how it turned out. Purple Decepticon insignia, the stripes on his wings. We'll see more of that in jet mode, but you get to see some of the details here and there. Look at that head sculpt. Very, very cool. I love the orange cockpits, also painted in black stripes, just like the other 2 reissued Seekers. And here are all 3 of the G1 reissued Seekers, all in cartoon accurate, movie accurate deco. And I am just so glad to have all 3 of them. When I was a kid, I always wanted the 3 of them together on my shelf. I could just never get them. Transformers weren't as easy to get as they are now. You needed to go to Hong Kong, you needed to go to the US, to Canada. We had no Toys R Us back then. Having all 3 of these Seekers was any G1's fan or any kid growing up in the 80s who was a big Transformers fan. Every kid wanted all 3 of them. And parents were like, it's the same figure. It's the same figure. Why do you want all 3 of them? They just colored differently. And we had to rationalize and tell our parents that, no, there's 3 different characters on the show. And oh, man, you could never get all 3 of them. If you had all 3 of them, either you were super rich, you were really spoiled as a kid, or you really had good grades that your parents had to get you all 3 of them. But anyway, for the younger collectors, these 3 might seem just craptastic. They don't look much, and the younger fans are probably gonna say, oh, why would anybody want these things? Oh man, you don't know the half of it. Back in the day, these figures were everything, and a lot of the modern Transformers were based off of these G1 toys. And a lot of the reasons for getting these figures is really nostalgia, trying to get a piece of your childhood back. These were the toys that your mom threw away or sold in a garage sale or something like that when you grew up, and it's just amazing to have all three of them. So let's get Skywarp into his jet mode. So safety first, get rid of the missiles, get rid of these. Yeah, back in the day, parts forming was a thing. It was a staple for a lot of Transformers. So fold the wings up like this, fold up the cockpit nose cone. Oh, okay. I would keep the landing gear in the cockpit so it wouldn't get lost, and then fold the hands or the arms inwards, snap that cockpit, go ahead and fold up the wings, the tail fins, the feet, and basically that is the jet mode. Oh man, it's so cool. Is this an F-15? I think this was an F-15. Man, it was so cool. Yeah, the landing gear worked, and if you're curious, if you don't already know, this whole piece right here is die-cast metal. That's how cool Transformers were back in the day. They had metal pieces. So yeah, very, very cool. Now you can appreciate the decals, or not the decals, the paint apps, the tempos that they put to make it cartoon accurate. Look at those Decepticon, purple Decepticon insignia. Man, it's so cool. And so some final thoughts on this reissued G1 Skywarp, together with the other reissued Seekers, G1 Thundercracker and G1 Starscream. Man, I love this figure. I love how it came out. I am so glad that I have all three of the G1 Seekers. Now, for some of the hardcore collectors of G1, they still think the originals are better. The encore versions, the original colors are better. But for somebody like me, who's very partial to cartoon accuracy or show accuracy or TV accuracy, in my opinion, I think these are the better versions. Yeah, the weapons are kind of goofy now, but I like them. And, you know, growing up as a kid, I wanted my figures to look exactly like how they did in the cartoons, and we kind of have it with these reissues. And I'm kind of glad Hasbro and Takara Tomy decided to reissue these figures, these G1 figures, because it is literally impossible to get them now. And they may not look much, especially for the younger collectors, but these figures were everything. I mean, for somebody who grew up in the 80s as a kid watching Transformers and collecting these toys, you always wanted these figures. And to have them reissued, you sort of get a bit of that childhood back, and the nostalgia's there, all the memories come back, and that's what makes these things amazing. Not the aesthetic, not the engineering, the die-cast metal. It's really the nostalgia and that piece of childhood that they carry with them that you're somehow able to buy back and return and enjoy. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this reissued G1 Skywarp, as well as these other reissued G1 Seekers, Thundercracker, and Starscream. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.